Have you ever wondered why, as the years go by, your nights become a constant parade to the bathroom? That interruption, that feeling of not emptying your bladder completely, and the frustration of fragmented sleep are signs that millions of men our age know all too well. But what if I told you that one of your most ingrained habits, and perhaps the one you consider harmless, is actively contributing to your prostate becoming enlarged, inflamed, and your quality of life diminishing? Today we're going to reveal precisely that habit that's sabotaging your well-being and how you can stop it right now. I'm Dr. Elena Castillo, and for decades I've helped men and women like you navigate the challenges of middle age. I fully understand the concern and sometimes the confusion that comes with taking care of our health at this age. My mission here, in this emotional safe haven, is to offer you straightforward truths, practical advice, and the wisdom you need to live your golden years with the fulfillment you deserve. That habit, my dear friends, is excessive fluid intake just before going to bed. We're not talking about a small sip, but a large glass of water, tea, or even that beer you ironically think relaxes you. Your body, trying to process so much fluid while you rest, puts unnecessary pressure on your kidneys, and consequently on your bladder. Imagine an overburdened bladder pushing against a prostate that may already be tender or slightly enlarged. This creates a vicious cycle of nighttime interruptions and discomfort. But the paradox is that, often to avoid those nighttime interruptions, many drastically limit their fluid intake during the day. And this, my friends, is an even bigger mistake. When we don't drink enough water throughout the daylight hours, our urine becomes more concentrated, thicker, and yes, much more acidic. Imagine that irritating fluid constantly bathing the sensitive walls of your bladder. It's like a mild acid that over time creates inflammation and an even greater urge to urinate, even with a small amount. This concentrated urine not only irritates the bladder, but also inflames the prostate. It's vital to understand that daytime dehydration is the real enemy. What we really need is a smart hydration strategy. Think of it like watering a plant. Don't give it all the water at once and then leave it thirsty for days. Water it little by little, regularly. That's how it should be with our bodies. Drinking small amounts of water, consistently throughout the day, dilutes that urine, making it less irritating to our bladder and prostate. This not only reduces inflammation, but also improves kidney function and overall health. The key is to distribute that hydration. It's not about drinking a liter of water just before bed. That would be counterproductive. It's about maintaining a constant and moderate flow during the daytime hours. Imagine a water bottle always by your side, giving you small sips every 15 or 20 minutes, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting. This allows your body to process the liquid efficiently, without overloading any system and minimizing pressure on your bladder. Plus, every time you get up to refill your bottle, you're breaking up those prolonged periods of inactivity, which, as we've already discussed, are so detrimental. Those prolonged periods of sitting act like a gentle but constant tourniquet on your pelvic region. When you sit, your body weight presses on the blood vessels that supply the prostate, hindering the flow of fresh, oxygenated blood. Imagine a garden hose that's been stepped on. The water doesn't flow freely. The same thing happens with your prostate. The lack of oxygen and nutrients, and the accumulation of waste, are a breeding ground for inflammation and enlargement. This is the root of that constant urge and weak stream that bothers you so much. Therefore, the solution is as simple as it is effective. Every 30 minutes, break that cycle of inactivity. Stand up, stretch gently, and take a few steps. This is like freeing that garden hose you've stepped on. By doing so, you immediately restore optimal blood flow to your prostate. You allow fresh oxygenated blood to irrigate the tissues, relieve direct pressure on the vessels, and facilitate waste elimination. This habit is a fundamental pillar. We've talked about the importance of movement and hydration for your prostate health, and these are key pillars. But there's another deeply rooted habit in our society that deserves our attention: caffeine consumption. That morning cup, or several throughout the day, that promises us energy and focus. And while caffeine can be beneficial in moderate doses, excessive consumption can have a significant and often underestimated impact on our bodies, affecting everything from our sleep to our anxiety, and yes, even our bladder. Caffeine, found in your morning coffee or those energy drinks you're looking for a boost, is a potent diuretic. Its main effect is to stimulate the kidneys to produce more urine, and at a faster rate. Imagine, if your bladder is already working hard due to the pressure of an enlarged prostate, which reduces its emptying capacity and causes that constant urge to urinate. Adding this extra fluid is like trying to fill a partially blocked funnel. The bladder fills faster. This translates into more trips to the bathroom during the day, and, even more disruptive for many of you, frequent interruptions of your sleep at night. That nocturia, that need to get up again and again, is often magnified by the coffee you drink in the afternoon or even at night. It's a grueling cycle that deprives the body of the restorative rest essential for its recovery and overall well-being. The good news is that small adjustments can make a big difference. Gradually reducing caffeine, especially in the afternoon and evening, is a key adjustment. It's not a prohibition, but rather an invitation to awareness. You can opt for decaf or explore relaxing herbal teas. Observe how your body responds. Many notice a noticeable decrease in urinary urgency and frequency, and deeper, more restful sleep. That's the reward. Listening to your body's signals is essential. Every small, conscious change adds powerfully to your prostate and overall well-being. Beyond caffeine, there are other eating habits that deserve our attention. Let's think about those foods that, although delicious, can be truly irritating to our system. I'm referring to processed foods, like bacon, sausages, and those frozen meals that are so convenient but often loaded with ingredients that aren't good for the prostate. And let's not forget the hot spices, those peppers and strong sauces that give dishes a special touch. These can not only irritate the prostate, but also contribute to overall inflammation in the body. But it's not about depriving yourself. It's about choosing options that nourish us and make us feel better. The key is to prioritize whole, unprocessed foods. Think delicious grilled chicken, accompanied by fresh leafy greens, a creamy avocado, a handful of vibrant berries, and nuts. These are foods that calm inflammation and provide energy. Proper hydration is vital, but not all beverages are created equal. Sugary drinks, sodas, and processed juices, while seemingly harmless, are loaded with sugars and additives that can aggravate bladder inflammation and irritation. Instead, let's focus on pure water and caffeine-free herbal teas. Water is the elixir of life. It helps cleanse the system and keep urine less concentrated, which is less irritating to the prostate and bladder. Well-diluted urine is not only less irritating to the delicate tissues of the prostate and bladder, but it also makes the kidney's job easier and helps flush the urinary system more efficiently. This significantly reduces the likelihood of unwanted bacteria settling and thriving, preventing infections. Think of it as a clean river that flows unhindered, carrying away what doesn't belong. When urine is highly concentrated, it's like a stagnant swamp, a perfect breeding ground for urinary tract infections and the constant irritation that aggravates the prostate. But it's not just the composition of urine that matters. When and how we empty our bladder are equally crucial. One of the most damaging habits many of us have developed is postponing urination. We ignore our body's signal, the little call that tells us it's time to go, perhaps because we're busy, lazy, or don't have a bathroom nearby. This seemingly harmless act has significant repercussions. When we hold back urine, the bladder stretches beyond its ideal capacity. This not only creates unnecessary pressure in the bladder, but it can also weaken the sphincter muscles and the bladder itself over time. Imagine a balloon that's constantly stretched to its maximum. Eventually, it loses elasticity and can't return to its original shape efficiently. Similarly, a bladder that's held back too often doesn't empty completely. This urine residue is the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, dramatically increasing the risk of urinary tract infections, which, as we've already discussed, can significantly aggravate prostate problems. It's a vicious cycle of irritation and vulnerability. This prolonged bladder retention not only promotes infection, but the pressure of a full bladder directly irritates the prostate. This continuous tension aggravates inflammation and the symptoms of an enlarged prostate, impeding its optimal function. Therefore, it is crucial to empty your bladder regularly and completely without rushing. This habit reduces pressure on the gland and minimizes the risk of infection, creating a healthier environment for your prostate. It's a simple act of self-care with a profound impact. But there's another vital aspect that we often neglect, and that has a profound impact on our overall and prostate health: smoking. Quitting smoking is, without a doubt, the greatest gift you can offer your body and your future well-being. Each puff exposes your cells to a toxic cocktail that affects circulation, inflammation, and the function of your organs, including your prostate. Furthermore, it's crucial to avoid secondhand smoke as much as possible. It's a silent aggressor for everyone. Smoking is a constant assault on your entire system. Tobacco toxins circulate through the blood, reaching every organ, including the prostate. These substances not only cause direct cellular damage but also promote chronic inflammation. This inflammation is a key factor in the progression of prostate diseases such as benign hyperplasia and, unfortunately, increases the risk of prostate cancer. Quitting smoking is, without a doubt, one of the most important steps you can take to protect your prostate and overall health. It is a crucial commitment to your future well-being. When you quit smoking, your body begins an amazing repair process. Inflammation decreases, circulation improves, and prostate cells can begin to recover from the constant toxic assault. It's a profound healing act. This change not only reduces your risk of disease, but also improves the effectiveness of any future treatments you may need. Early detection is key, and a less inflamed body is one where the warning signs can be clearer and less masked by the widespread damage that smoking inflicts. Beyond the lifestyle choices we make, such as quitting smoking, there is an irreplaceable and powerful tool to protect your prostate: early detection. This is where annual exams come in. Think of them as your body's roadmap to ensure everything is in order. A regular medical checkup, which includes a physical exam and, crucially, specific tests like the prostate-specific antigen or PSA, is essential. Now let's turn our attention to another crucial factor that directly impacts the health of your prostate: what we put on our plates. Specifically, I want to address the issue of red and processed meat consumption. Scientific evidence accumulated over the years suggests a troubling connection between a high intake of these foods and an increased risk of developing prostate problems, including not only benign conditions but also prostate cancer. This is an area where our daily decisions carry considerable weight. Frequent consumption of red and processed meats introduces a load of compounds into our system that can be highly pro-inflammatory. Consider saturated fats and certain additives, which, when metabolized, stimulate persistent inflammatory responses in the body. This chronic inflammation not only directly affects prostate tissue, but also interferes with the delicate hormonal balance. Over time, this can translate into increased estrogen and decreased testosterone, a scenario that is not conducive to prostate health. But this scenario doesn't have to be definitive. Fortunately, we have the power to positively influence our prostate health through conscious dietary choices. The solution is simpler and more delicious than you might imagine. I encourage you to reduce your consumption of red and processed meat to once or twice a week. Instead, embrace lean proteins like chicken, fish, especially those rich in omega-3s like salmon, and nutritious plant-based options like beans, lentils, and tofu. These healthier alternatives not only provide nutrients without the pro-inflammatory burden, but their richness in fiber and beneficial fats promotes satiety. This is key to effective weight management and, crucially, to reducing abdominal fat. This visceral fat isn't just a cosmetic issue. It's a potent generator of systemic inflammation and hormonal imbalance, profoundly affecting the prostate, heart, and overall metabolic well-being. This abdominal fat isn't inert. It's a metabolically active tissue that houses the aromatase enzyme. This enzyme converts testosterone, vital for men, into estrogen. Excess estrogen stimulates prostate cell growth, contributing to benign prostatic hyperplasia. Furthermore, this visceral fat is a source of inflammation, releasing substances that not only affect the prostate, but also damage arteries and compromise insulin sensitivity. This increases cardiovascular and metabolic risks. Therefore, reducing it is a fundamental action to protect our prostate and our overall health. Therefore, by focusing on reducing abdominal fat, we're not only improving our figure, but also actively protecting our prostate and our heart. And here's where the good news comes in. we don't need drastic changes. Small reductions in body weight, even 5%, can make a big difference. Imagine the impact. Walking in the morning, swapping sugary drinks for plain water, and adding more colorful vegetables to your plate. Every little step counts. But what happens when these efforts are compounded by a silent but powerful factor? Unmanaged chronic stress? This is where many of us find ourselves. We live at a fast pace with constant demands, and we often underestimate how this continuous pressure affects our bodies. Stress isn't just a mental sensation. It's a physiological response that has profound implications for our health, from our digestion to the way our bodies handle fat, especially that belly fat we were talking about. When we're under constant stress, our bodies release hormones like cortisol. The stress hormone. This isn't our enemy. It's essential for our survival in dangerous situations. But when it remains chronically elevated, it becomes a problem. Consistently high cortisol inflames tissues, including the prostate. It also tenses the pelvic floor muscles, which can cause pain and make urination difficult. It also unbalances other hormones, impacts our sleep, and makes us more susceptible to generalized inflammation. So, we've covered the importance of lifestyle changes for a healthy prostate, from mindful eating and regular exercise to crucial chronic stress management and how elevated cortisol can sabotage our efforts. I'd love to know, which of these aspects you feel represents your biggest challenge or your greatest opportunity for change? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. If this information has been helpful to you, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell so you don't miss out on future health tips, and share it with someone who might benefit. As always, I deeply appreciate you joining me in this space dedicated to your well-being. I'm Dr. Elena Castillo, and I send you my warmest regards. Until next time.